Okay, well, if that's how you would like it to be, then trust is what we should do. Okay. All right, our next speaker for today. Richard did this because I asked him, and he shared his little story with me, which I won't tell you because that would steal his thunder. But when he told me it, I said, you know what you should make for your title? You should make a Texas Christmas. I want to hear what it's like to have Christmas where it's hot and sunny and there really isn't much of a winter. And he took on this challenge to share with all of you some of his holiday spirit. Please welcome past president, one of the funniest guys around, Richard Stewart, with his speech, A Texas Christmas.
Don't slam the door. My mother was a saint. 10 kids in our family, 5 girls and 5 boys. It was the perfect balance of chaos. All my mother wanted was to have a little peace and quiet. But if all she wanted was peace and quiet, why was she screaming so loud? I wondered as a 10-year-old boy. Don't slam the door. I think the problem all boiled down to simple math. 10 children, and each of us had 2 or 3 best friends. It didn't take too long for the whole neighborhood to know that the big party was at the Stewart's house. Now, about that front door, you see, the problem was it was big, and it was a solid core oak door. And when it slammed, the whole wall shook, even the floor. I mean, it was kablooey. And problem number 2 is that, you know, when kids go out and play, they don't walk out. I mean, really, have you ever heard a little kid say, hey, let's all walk out and play? No, they run out. And the trick is the last one out. It's real easy. You just grab the edge of the door and you flick it while you're running. Bam! You're halfway out in the street before it shuts. It was really efficient. But somehow my mother didn't appreciate our efficiency. Poor mom. Now my dad was different. Nothing fazed him. I mean, it was like he had this ability to tune us all out and go about his own business. What was his business? His business was saving money so he could feed 10 kids. That's what his business was. I'll never forget the famous milk mutiny of 1957. You might have read about it. The famous Stewart House milk mutiny. You see, my dad had this idea that he could save money by buying powdered milk. 1/3 the cost of real milk. And he had a plan of doing this. He called it magic milk. See, and he had us all sit down at the table. He said, watch this, kid. He filled all of our 10 glasses with water. He said, watch this, 1 tablespoon of this magic powder, and it makes magic milk. And he stirred it up. We were all intrigued. Of course, magic milk, what would you think? 1 sip was all it took. Yuck. It was magic, all right. It magically unified all of us to revolt and refuse to drink it. We all left the table and left 10 glasses of full magic milk standing defiantly on the table as we left. Poor Dad. It was like watching the death of a salesman right in front of us. It was pitiful. But he was resilient, especially when it came to saving money. And I have to tell you one thing about my dad. He had a bad reputation for buying cheap Christmas trees. But not this year, especially after that milk incident. This year, he brought home this huge, full, green Christmas tree, not one of the normal, cheap, short, skinny trees that he normally brings home. We were all overjoyed. Even Mom was happy about this tree. We were overjoyed until we later found out that he got this tree for half price. Why? Because these were last year's trees that didn't sell, but were frozen to be sold this year. But my dad thought, no problem. It's green. It's beautiful. He brought it home. One problem with it. After about 3 days, all the green needles started coming off. Especially when the front door slammed. Every slam of the door, bam, the needles would fall. Bam, the needles would fall. Don't slam the door, my mom would say. This time we finally listened as we saw our big, beautiful Christmas tree melt away before our very eyes. It wasn't a tree, it was a Christmas twig. Christmas Day came and we were all worried, but Mom saved the day as she normally does. She had been secretly sewing popcorn strings, and we woke up Christmas morning expecting that Christmas twig, but it was full of beautiful popcorn that just seemed to glisten in those lights, glowing lights. So that was the day that Mom saved Christmas, and we were all joyful and happy that Texas Christmas 1957. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
I can absolutely